Greetings, everyone, and welcome to my Earth Alliance report. Today, we're going to dive deep into the esoteric warfare, the interdimensional warfare that is taking place, that has been going on in Iran for the Battle of Stargate 10, the Abaddon Stargate, which is one of 12 major stargates. I think I've explained that months ago. And so, what we're seeing here, it's a surface. You could say the surfaced manifestation of an interdimensional warfare that has been going on underneath Iran. So we're going to dive deep into special forces operation, what the plan is, what they've been doing, and then of course the significance of the 10th Stargate, also known as the Abaddon Stargate. Now, before I start with today's presentation, and by the way, we are close to experiencing what is known as a lunar eclipse, and this is going to be the final red moon, which is signifying the prophecies of the ending of the old world and the beginning of a new world, which again ties into what's happening right now in Iran, the liberation of the Iranian people. So before I get started, guys, oh, and I also have an update regarding the Medbeds. You guys have been asking for that, so I do have a lot of good news today. First and foremost, I want to welcome everyone that is in the house, and also I want to extend gratitude to each and every single one of you, and also those that watch this on the replay. Without you guys, I wouldn't have no audience to report to. So thank you guys so much for being here and for ultimately being a part of this journey of unraveling the truth regarding what's really going on beyond just the surface. So thank you guys so much for that. I also want to remind you guys that I have a new set of courses. My classes are cheap, valuable information that start on the 21st and the 22nd of this month, March. So if you are interested in learning about the cosmic infrastructure, the entire cosmic history going back to 998 billion years ago, learning about the 12 original universes, and of course, if you want to know about the esoteric and metaphysical knowledge regarding Ascension, I do have 3-level courses for Ascension. I have Ascension Basics for beginners, and this class is mainly for those that are just recently woken up. They want to dive deep into spirituality. So I teach you guys the process of enlightenment, self-realization, and how to navigate from a 3D consciousness into a 5D or above consciousness where we want to be when the shift takes place. And then the second Ascension course, I break down the truths behind the quantum field. I teach you guys how to connect to the quantum field. I teach you guys how to master time. And I also teach you guys how to become a co-creator with the universal architect known as God, and much more. So, and then finally, my third Ascension course for those that are super advanced. If you guys want to learn about the higher chakras, the light body vehicle association, and how to activate the cosmic self, then I would take Ascension 3.0. But overall, guys, my classes are cheap. This is information that normally goes for about $1,000 to $1,500, but I like to keep it only for $100. Make it affordable. It's an even exchange. So go to my website, or cosmicorigin.com, and secure your spot so that I can see you guys either on the 21st or 22nd of March, Saturday or Sunday. And also, as a reminder, one of the things that I love about teaching courses is I get to meet the Galactic Jedis. Every time you are new to my course, first time taking a course, I actually get an opportunity to know you on a deeper level. This is where you get a chance to share about yourself when you had your initial awakening, and so on and so forth. So it's always an honor to meet and see what other galactic Jedis have been through. All right, with no further ado, one last thing, guys. The Folium product is still fully in stock, all 3 of them. This is the only product that I offer because I believe in health. I believe in detoxifying the body, not only of nanoparticulates, but also of that CV19, if you guys know what I mean, MR, the chemtrails, the radiation, all of the stuff that was designed to suppress us, to keep us from connecting to our higher self, is, of course, available through the links that I provide. Get your Folium product as soon as you can, and that special still going on. Okay, so all right, I think that, oh, one last thing. I am also doing for only 20 individuals a special interactive webinar for 90 minutes. We're going to be going over chapter 2 of my own personal journey, The Cosmic Origin of Ishmael Perez, which is a book that I've been working on for the last year. So go to my website for those 20 individuals that are interested, and sign up for that event. It's an online webinar that's going to be taking place, I believe, on the 14th of March, which is in about 2 weeks. And let me just double check before I start with the update, because I know you guys are hungry to know what's happening with Iran, and is this going to lead to the Third World War? Is EBS going to happen? Well, all of that will be answered and more in this presentation. All right, so yeah, it's called Becoming Human. So when you guys go to my website, you scroll down, you go to the event called Becoming Human, a private reading. And again, I'm only allowing for 20 individuals because I like to keep it small, intimate, so it's very interactive. And that way you guys get to know me on a personal level and learn about my experience during my rebel years, from when I was 12 years old till about 17, 18, 19 years old. Okay. All right. With no further ado, now I am going to get right into it. All right. So overall, guys, this is a multidimensional warfare. So what we are seeing within the 3D realm on the surface is the takeout of a regime that has, again, existed for quite some time, that is a remnant of an ancient Draconian Hydra, you could say reptilian agreement, when the Anunnaki took over the 10th Stargate during ancient times. Finally, that Stargate is being reclaimed by the forces of light, even on the surface level. Okay. So, Iran, of course, is the place where the 10th Stargate is located. And so, what's happening right now in Iran is literally going to change the future of the earth. Okay. And this is more than just politics, guys, because Iran sits, of course, on this 10th Stargate, which is a pre-fall energetic portal that was once used to anchor eternal life energy into Mother Earth before, of course, the Draconian reptilians and the Hydra reptilians intercepted it. Not to mention, the leader that was taken out in the last few days was also the head of what we call the entire Islamic terrorist network. So this is a big step for the alliance, okay? In addition to the reclamation of the 10th Stargate, which will signify the ending of the Alpha Draconian and, of course, Hydra reptilian grid. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Hydra reptilians, but they have been working with the Draconians in their attempt to dominate the universe for millions of years. Well, it is believed that, according to Alliance briefings, what's happening right now is just what we are seeing taking effect, a ripple effect on the third dimensional level of reality. So it is believed that early this year, sensitives across the planet began reporting identical visions of a crystalline structure that has been buried deep beneath the ancient Persian plateau, pulsing red and black energies. Well, those red and black energies were apparently connected to the Red Queen and, of course, the inorganic negative AI Black Cube network that at one point was in place all throughout our universe. But all of that has been neutralized. The final one, which again is in Iran, has recently also been dismantled. Okay. And this explains why the US forces are taking out the surface leaders. Okay. So the Earth Alliance which many of you guys know, which is a coalition of military, intelligence, spiritual, as well as energetic disciplines, or just you could say people that had long known that one of the planet's 12 primary stargate nodes, known as the 10th gate, was apparently inverted for thousands of years, okay, causing a harvest festing of creating conditions where people, of course, suffered and were oppressed. Okay, so this region, known as Iran, also carries immense spiritual significance because beneath the soil is, of course, one of the Earth's oldest etheric command centers, in addition to the 10th Stargate. Okay, and this etheric command center was apparently usurped in ancient times by a draconian frequency amplifier technology that embedded during the ancient Orion conflicts. And for those that understand galactic history, the Orion Wars were apparently going on for millions of years. So in 2026, as you guys know, solar activity began to intensify as we went well into solar maximum, and as plasma waves from the galactic core continued to transmute what is left of the darkness. The Galactic Alliance and the interstellar councils apparently have supported the Earth's full liberation. Okay. And again, they began by transmitting harmonic stabilizers through the planet's magnetosphere. And so the underground conflict worldwide, including the conflict that's been going on in Iran, has not been done by weapons, right, in the underground. It was actually done by resonance, advanced resonance weapon systems that the Galactic Alliance used to finally defeat what was left of the Draconian and Hydra stronghold underneath Iran. So this is a pivotal moment, guys, because as the Earth Alliance has successfully removed the corrupt Iranian regime a few days ago, beneath the land, historically known as Persia, there's always been a deep below physical infrastructure existing as a vast crystalline cavern system, partially physical, largely interdimensional. So for millennia, for thousands of years, guys, this node was apparently broadcasting fear surviving or survival programming, authoritarian frequency patterns, as well as hierarchical domination templates, and of course, genetic suppression codes. Well, the Earth Alliance worked in coordination with Galactic Alliance emissaries, not physically landing fleets, but with higher dimensional support beings that were operating from the fifth dimension, sixth, and seventh dimensional bandwidths. And so, in addition to all of this, Commander Valiant Thor wants me to convey that all of the star seeds across the globe unknowingly acted as remote harmonic anchors, all right, which again contributed to the fall of the Draconian and Hydra stronghold underneath Iran. There were apparently many mass meditation events within the last few months that were designed to liberate the people of Iran that synchronized with the geomagnetic storms, causing an amplification of the outcome of these positive meditations to take place. And then during a powerful solar flare, guys, aligned, of course, in February, we received some of the most powerful solar flares since the Carrington event. The inversion matrix that was once held together by the inverted Draconian and Hydra reptilian energy grid completely collapsed 3 days ago, okay? With the recovery, of course, of the 10th Stargate in Iran, the Abaddon Gate. Well, witnesses worldwide described a sudden emotional purging, all of a sudden felt worldwide, okay? And again, this corresponds with the liberation of the people, the free people of Iran. A collective exhaustion followed by clarity was also felt. The sensation of a pressure lifting from the planetary root chakra. So the battle beneath Iran was never a surface world, Okay, apparently, this is a battle that's been going on for quite some time. It is now just, of course, we're now seeing the effects taking place in our reality, in the 3D. It was the dismantling overall of a subterranean distortion engine that had apparently influenced global governance archetypes for ages in that region, explaining all the suffering. Well, when the 10th gate was recalibrated to its original emerald gold frequency, the Draconian and of course, the Hydra grid lost its planetary anchor. The rule of fear ended 3 days ago at its source, since the forces of light recuperated the gate. As a result of this, guys, the Alliance is projecting that by the year 2027, which is just around the corner, as we are well in 2026, and yes, my friends, today is March the 2nd, and we are still on a positive timeline trajectory, okay? So the Alliance is predicting that by 2027, the dissolution of the Draconian and Hydra archetype, which was the structure of the Cabal families, will be absolutely extinguished as a result of what's happening right now in Iran. Well, with the gate restored, the original living planetary grid will begin to once again activate along with the star seeds. That is great news, okay? So key effects of the collapsed Draconian energy vortex are, in Iran, will allow for an exposure of corruption structures worldwide, a rapid destabilization of authoritarian systems, and of course, a sudden public demand for transparency and DNA activation phenomena among awakened populations. This ties in to what I've been calling the first wave of ascenders, okay, the first to activate. In addition, the Galactic Alliance increased subtle atmospheric support, stabilizing tectonic and apparently magnetic fluctuations caused by the current grid shift that is preventing massive earth changes at this moment. So if it wasn't for that intervention, right now we would have all been experiencing massive earthquakes and tsunamis and massive volcano eruptions worldwide. So apparently that was a catastrophe that was prevented by the Galactic Alliance. Now, the Earth Alliance is focusing also on preventing chaos during this societal restructuring. So the battle apparently ended in the underground, but in Iran, it apparently ended in the underground in favor of the light. But the battle on the surface with US forces will continue for a few more weeks. For those that have been paying close attention to Trump in his reports. So without the Draconian broadcast frequency, humanity's baseline consciousness will now begin to shift from control to cooperation, from scarcity to innovation, and from fear to sovereignty. So that by 2028, when this current reality construct, the matrix, comes to an end, right, will correspond to the full removal of the Zionist Khazarian mafia, okay? And with that, we're going to be seeing the emergence of a sovereign humanity that will be fully anchored by no later than 2028. So, therefore, children born after 2028 will be exhibiting measurable neurological differences as a result of the shift in consciousness. They're going to be experiencing increased empathy, intuitive intelligence for the first time. All children born at the end of 2027 and beginning of 2028 will be born with their right brain and left brain fully operating, and their higher brain, the prefrontal cortex, fully activated, with the dismantling of the reptilian brain, which is the lower brain, which is amazing, okay? Increased empathy, intuitive intelligence, and energetic sensitivity. The 10th Stargate now will be functioning as a stabilizing root chakra anchor for planetary sovereignty rather than domination. And so, therefore, as a result, starseeds will begin to remember more of their prior incarnational agreements. Now, all of this is preparing the Earth into her wonderful acceptance, of course, into the galactic community as Earth joins the interstellar framework between 2029 and 2030. And again, if you guys want to know more about the details of that, I gave a powerful presentation on Saturday night. Make sure you guys watch that. All right. I reveal exactly the projection within the positive timeline going all the way up until 2040. You guys want to watch that video. For those that have not seen my Saturday presentation, make sure you watch it. Okay. So, with the grid now stabilized, Earth's magnetic signature is changing. Okay. This is allowing limited open coordinations between Earth's leadership councils. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. This is allowing greater open coordination between Earth's leadership councils, the 209 countries that are part of the Earth Alliance, and of course, our galactic allies. So, therefore, instead, what we are going to be seeing within the next few months is quantum communication nodes activated, and there could be a huge possibility that through Project Odin and Starlink, we might be seeing what they call the kill shift. I can't even say that word. Kill switch of the Cabal grid and infrastructure. Okay, that will allow for an advanced energy technology systems to gradually be released, and of course, 0 point systems that will be beginning replacing fossil fuels and combustion. Not to mention, a new governance model that is rooted in transparency will eventually be emerging. Now, the ancient Persian Stargate in Iran site became a protected energetic sanctuary. Not politically significant, but spiritually guarded. This location that was once associated with control now is radiating grounding stability for the entire planetary grid. So it is believed that the Alliance is projecting that by 2031, the memory restoration cycle will be fully completed. Okay. Humans will finally be able to have access to their memories. Okay. So humanity will begin remembering, as a result of this, its galactic ancestry. That's amazing. Now, let's go into the operations that are taking place right now in Iran. So, but before I do, there's one last thing that I wanted to share. The Earth Alliance transitioned from defensive operations to planetary mentorship as a result of this. So, with the 10th gate fully integrated, the planetary ley line system synchronized into a unified crystalline network. And the effects will include spontaneous healing phenomena, a reduction in violent crime globally, a rapid technological breakthroughs in clean energy, and of course, increased telepathic communication among awakened groups. So the former Draconian and Hydra archetypes of the Middle East is dissolving with, of course, the recuperation of the 10th gate. So therefore, in future generations, it will be understood as a consciousness distortion that we, humanity, outgrown and overcame. So all of this is leading, guys, to the Earth becoming part of the sovereign accords, as we become restored back into the interstellar community. So all of this, of course, is paving the way so that the global leadership structures begin reorganizing into a decentralized regional councils known as the 22 federated regions. I've been talking about this for quite some time now. So therefore, in this trajectory, by 2028, the Earth's root chakra anchored through the restored 10th Stargate, will be fully stabilized. Okay, it takes about a year or 18 months to do so. The significance of the subterranean battle underneath Iran, which is what they called ancient Persia, has finally ended in favor of the forces of light. Now, humanity is now reclaiming its survival template as a result of that. So, therefore, fear will no longer define the people anymore in Iran, okay? The Draconian and Hydra rule has ended not through conquest, but through frequency correction. The gate beneath the sands now in the Middle East, including the one in Iraq, is now pulsing in emerald light, grounding a species that has chosen sovereignty over domination. All right, let's go over Operation Epic Fury. Operation Epic Fury. Operation Epic Fury is designed, and by the way, this next piece of intel comes from the Gazetteller, which is a reliable source of Y-hat operations. So, according to the Gazetteller, Operation Epic Fury is designed for the absolute elimination of Iran's offensive capabilities. U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, confirmed that the strikes targeted missile production factories, underground silos, and drone launch sites across the country. Key installations in Isfahan, Tabriz, Qom, and Kara have been leveled. The Iranian Navy, which has long harassed international shipping in the Straits of Hormuz, is being annihilated as I speak. U.S. Navy carrier strike groups led by the U.S. Abraham Lincoln and the USS Gerald R. Ford launched hundreds of cruise missiles to sink the remnants of the Iranian fleet. Pentagon assessments indicate that Iran's ability to project power at sea is now non-existent, thanks to special forces, U.S. Special Forces. The mechanics of the operation relayed on real-time data from the NSA surveillance and the CIA assets. This intelligence allowed for adaptive targeting that bypassed air defenses and with ease. Task Force Scorpion Strike utilized low-cost attack drones to overwhelm remaining defenses, proving the superiority of American military technology under the current administration and channels loyal, of course, to President Trump, avoiding leaks from entrenched bureaucratic layers. So, for years, we know that the deep state actions or actors within the US government protected the Iranian regime. Well, these officials tied to the 2015 nuclear deal funneled millions of dollars in sanctions relief to Tehran. They maintained unofficial ties and leaked intelligence to protect the regime from aggressive action. Figures like John Kerry and other Obama-era holdovers worked to preserve, including the Clintons, worked to preserve Iran as a counterbalance to U.S. dominance. President Trump's return to the White House exposed these networks. Operation Epic Fury is now a direct strike against the globalist interest in maintaining Middle East instability. Globalist entities, including European banks and UN bodies, profited from the Iran's trade routes while the regime continued to fund terrorism. So by destroying Iran's production capacity, President Trump has severed the financial pipelines that sustained the radical cause. The Pentagon, now under the loyal leadership of Secretary Pete Hegseth, has been purged of the elements that previously sabotaged American interest. The State Department has been stripped of the globalist influence that prioritized endless negotiations over national security. The United States now operates with a singular focus, and that is America first. Controlled media outlets like CNN and BBC have apparently attempted to frame these strikes as unprovoked. This narrative is a coordinated effort by intelligence linked PR firms to protect the interest of the deep state. These outlets omit the facts of Iranian ordered killings of Americans and the regime's secret nuclear advances. Independent reports and hacked communications prove that Tehran issued direct orders to target U.S. forces. The media's portrayal of President Trump as a reckless is a deliberate lie, apparently, when in reality, the operation is a measured and necessary response to an imminent threat. The Iranian people themselves have been seen in the streets of Tehran reacting with celebration as the regime's symbol of power crumbled. President Trump addressed the Iranian public directly, stating that the hour of their freedom is at hand. He urged the people to take over their own government and reclaim their country from the radical dictatorships. The United States is providing the opening for a new era of sovereignty in Iran. In other words, the people of Iran are going to be giving their opportunity to establish their own republic, which is going to be a government by the people of Iran. And that is what the Y hats are doing. The legal basis for this operation is clear under Article 51 of the UN Charter, which recognizes the inherent right of self-defense. The United States requires no permission from international courts to protect its citizens. The IAEA and other international bodies failed to stop Iran's nuclear progress, making direct military actions the only viable solution. So therefore, Operation Epic Fury continues as U.S. forces track down remaining threats. The Trump administration has made it clear that the era of appeasement is over. The United States will ensure that the Iran regime never obtains a nuclear weapon and that its terror proxies are permanently neutralized. The restoration of U.S. sovereignty over its foreign policy is now a reality. Trump stated on March 1st, 2026, which was yesterday, that Operation Epic Fury in Iran ends in less than 4 weeks. Okay, so that's the trajectory when this operation ends. This timeline positions Silent Storm activation by late March 2026. The execution uses Tomahawk missiles from Mediterranean carriers and cyber warfare from NSA hubs at Fort Meade to cripple Syrian defenses. General Dan Kane authorized the strikes under Trump's directive, channeling orders through a purged Joint Chiefs Council that controls CENTCOM forward bases in Jordan. The institutional chain connects Trump directly to the 23 flag officers who oversee every phase from Raven Rock command centers. These officers relay decisions via quantum encrypted lines, ensuring seamless integration of Space Force satellite feeds for targeting. And so the real mechanism reveals that Syria as a central deep state node for proxy control. So apparently the deep state's node and bioweapon facilities are also being dismantled. Okay. So yeah, I mean, what's happening right now in Iran, there are so many layers to this. In fact, like I mentioned, for a long time underneath Iran, the battle was interdimensional, guys. Okay. The battle was interdimensional. So Assad's regime operates bioweapon facilities that were funded by the Chinese Communist Party transfers and the Gates Foundation, allocations disguised as aid packages. Wow. Okay. These sites produced engineered V, right? The stuff that they released in 2019 for global deployment directed by World Economic Forum executives who embed operatives in UN agencies to coordinate distribution. Command hierarchy functions through compartmentalized teams where Trump approves final targets in off record sessions. Internal coordinations links U.S. commanders with Saudi intelligence to stage B 52s for carpet bombing runs on Assad's chemical stockpiles. Hidden financial channels siphoned seized Iranians funds exceeding 600 billion in blockchain traced accounts to procure munitions, 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 bypassing Treasury Department oversight via military slush funds managed by loyalist contractors. Intelligence involvement integrates CIA black site interrogations of captured Iranian officials who detail Assad's ties to North Korean missiles techs as well. Alliance intelligence provided ground intel on Hezbollah supply lines running through Syria, which globalists use to sabotage shipping routes and drive up oil prices for Rockefeller cartels. Media coordination supplies scripted narratives to outlets like MSNBC from Langley handlers, framing the operation as routine anti-terrorism while suppressing mechanisms deployed bot networks to flood social media with disinformation. Well, Trump is dismantling these systems as I speak by ordering a total regime purge in Syria. So this is not just about the war in Iran. It's also about taking out the underground illegal operations around all of that area, the Middle East. And all of this is cutting off the deep state's revenue from opium trades that flow through Damascus to European black markets. So this is a straight out U.S. alliance military operation. And yes, the 909 countries that are part of the alliance are all supporting U.S. military forces. The globalist controllers in the IMF and Bank for International Settlements installed Assad to enforce economic subjugation using Syrian debt to fund surveillance programs that tracked dissent worldwide. They apparently tried to block Trump through coordinated smears via DOJ operatives and rigged intelligence reports that funneled to congregational committees. Well, Trump threatens their survival by exposing their chains, which sustains, of course, trillions in illicit gains and enable population control experiments tested in Syrian refugee zones. Now, there are three phases of the Operation Silent Storm that is happening right now as I speak. This is a deeper operational that details how Silent Storm divided into three phases. Phase 1 deploys EMP strikes on Damascus power grids to isolate command centers. Phase 2 is going to send Marine teams, or it's already happening, is sending Marine teams to capture biolabs in Aleppo, securing samples of sterility agents developed under Soros-linked grants. Phase 3 establishes military governance to seize oil infrastructure from Chinese holdings. So off-record decisions include Trump's mandate to eliminate Wagner Group mercenaries protecting Assad's bunkers, based on intercepts showing their funding from Vatican-linked accounts. The protection system shields globalist assets through diplomatic immunity for EU envoys, EU, European Union. People ask me, what's the EU? Who launders funds into Syrian arms deals, the people of Syria. Intelligence agencies and embedded agents in aid organizations to monitor and eliminate whistleblowers. We're talking about the negative intelligent agencies like the Mossad and the Khazarians, okay? What they did is they embedded agents in aid organizations in order to monitor and eliminate the whistleblowers. And media suppression also extended to deplatforming journalists who linked Assad's regime to C-19, right? The variant that was released, that was engineered in Wuhan and routed through Syrian proxies. Well, the strategic objective is clearing Syria as a launch pad for broader Middle East resets, breaking belt and road dominance and redirecting resources to sovereign alliances. Trump's opposition targets the core of the deep state power by weaponizing military operations against their installed puppets. Controllers operating through intelligence hubs in Langley and financial elites in Davos attempt his removal via fabricated scandals and insider leaks designed to incite division. The conflict centers on control over global institutions. Trump's actions sever the proxy networks that allow elites to dictate policy, forcing them into overt resistance that exposes their vulnerabilities. Further connections reveal the Assad's underground network tied to Epstein's financial webs. It's all coming out now. It's all tied into the files where slush funds from human transferring of humans, illegal transferring of humans, supported the bioweapon R&D. Captured documents from Iranian sites confirm Gates Foundation directives for field testing in Syrian camps, protected by MI6 handlers posing as NGO staff. Internal coordinations with Turkish forces seals the borders to trap fleeing regime elements, while hidden channels trace Rothschild investments in Syrian rare earth mines using advanced weaponry. Okay, the Rothschilds were apparently investing in the Syrian rare earth mines in order to use that as advanced weaponry. And that was, of course, stopped and blocked by the Earth Alliance in the last few days, which is great. So the operational structure integrates DARPA tech for drone swarms that map and destroy hidden tunnels. Intelligent roles expand to prevent hacks on Russian servers, revealing Putin's complicity in shielding Assad for Rosneft oil deals. And we're talking about, of course, the first Putin that was taken out, not the second Putin. The second Putin 2.0 replaced Putin 1.0, who was Cabal, who is, of course, now been taken to Gitmo. But okay, let's continue here. The media coordination is collapsing under EBS overrides that are expected to broadcast raw evidence of globalist involvement. So the suppression fails as military insiders route leaks to encrypted platforms, detailing how UN resolutions mask bioweapon shipments. Trump commands these exposures to end institutional protections for controllers who use Syria as a chaos factory. Deep state actors are escalating with cyber attacks on US grids, but to no avail because Space Force is countermeasuring them. Okay. And it is believed that a lot of this is being also orchestrated from Chinese proxies to distract from the operation in the Middle East. The power struggle intensifies as Trump's military realignment continues to dismantle their survival mechanisms rooted in perpetual conflict for resource dominance. I'm getting hot here. I have to turn on the fan. All right. Sure. Thank you. Yeah, we could do that. We could do a meditation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, especially because, we're going to be experiencing the lunar eclipse and the final blood moon. That's amazing because I think since 2012 and 14, we've had a series of blood moons, if you guys remember, right? Over the course of the last 10 years. Anyhow, okay, additional layers exposing Syrian ties to North Korean nuclear exchanges that were apparently funded by the IMF loans that trapped the regime in debt cycles. Trump's strategy relocates seized assets to fund anti globalist reconstructions, breaking the cycles of engineered poverty. Intelligence confirms that the European Union bureaucrats' direct orders for migration surges from Syria to dilute national identities in Europe. So the final reset is the aviation activation, announcing the Silent Storm's commencements, transmitting declassified files on Assad's globalist handlers based on leaked protocols that will be showing how the system forces disclosures unto all devices, naming enablers like former Obama. Let's just call him, his real name was, I think it was Terry Sotelo or something. No, Barry Soetoro. Officials who authorize the funding transfers are scheduled to be exposed. Pentagon databases that have tracked these assets, feeding the emergency broadcast system with evidence of Syria's role in mind control deployment via aid tech. Excuse me. Trump terminates shielding by arresting domestic collaborators mid-broadcast. And so the lawfare from the DOJ holdovers ended when Space Force secured communications back in 2024. The exposure unifies operations against the network, spawning Vatican financiers to Beijing investors. Every Silent Storm upgrade originates from Trump's initial reforms to dismantle entrenchment. The hierarchy enforces military dominance in execution. Current operational status shows that Iran Epic Fury wrapping in under 4 weeks, with Syria Silent Storm forces positioned for immediate full-scale launch, is also set to be wrapped in the next few weeks. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with what's happening right now, but apparently Iran bombed Dubai, and just today alone they bombed or what's left of the terrorist network. Of course, we did take out the main leader a few days ago, but they also bombed France this morning. So yeah, it appears like this is the cabal's final gamut in their effort to initiate the Third World War. But unfortunately for them, it's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen, okay? Now, regarding the medbeds, a lot of people have been asking me about the medbeds. I know a lot of people are hanging by a string, right, with your illnesses, and you guys really need the medbeds. So I have a bit of a good news regarding the medbeds. So apparently, as of the 28th of February, 2025, there was a dropped, White Hat military dropped that the timeline for the medbeds, which again will also be exposing the cabal's century-old suppression of healing tech, while of course poisoning us with that and chemtrails. The releasing of the medbeds is scheduled to happen as a result of course, overriding the tyranny in the Middle East. Okay. So that could be, I don't know what this is going to happen for the next 4 weeks. So that could be April, okay? April, May. Let's just say that, okay? So, it is believed, guys, that um, when the Alliance completely abolishes and dismantles every fiber of the global deep state, when these healing modalities are released, everyone that is ill, that has no, that has suffered from, of course, the losing of limbs. There are different modalities, including reversing aging. Okay, modalities that again put an end to all. If you guys know what I mean, including the sea. Um, all of these modalities, not just one type of medbed, are scheduled to be released within the next 6 to 8 weeks. If, of course, everything goes to plan. Okay. I don't want to give a set date, but this is what the trajectory report that is coming from the intelligence briefings is indicating. So it is believed that perhaps sometime at the end of April or beginning in May, if all goes accordingly, let's all keep our fingers crossed. The Alliance is planning on releasing the Medbed centers in about 209 nations, not just in the US, that are going to be shielded by a gold backed QFS with about 23,500 in 23,500 US hospitals first that are going to be equipped with 2 to 4 units each. And then, of course, 26,900 global centers that are going to be launched with 2 medbeds apiece worldwide. So the first people that are going to have access to them is the elderly. Why is that? Well, the cabal, Epstein and Gates and their network, were apparently planning on eliminating what they called the elderly and what they called the weaker people on the earth, okay, when they released what they did in 2019. And of course, followed by the solution, which was that, which, in truth, a lot of elderly people suffered from strokes, blood clots and heart attacks. Let's just be real. But the plan was to eliminate a lot of the elderly, part of population eugenics control, right? And of course, what they refer to as the weaker people. Okay. So therefore, when they roll out the medbeds, the elderly that were affected by that, or the elderly that are suffering from any illness, are going to be the first to have access to the medbeds, as well as the target individuals, and of course, the veterans, and then the rest of the general public. Okay. So if you are over the age of 70, you're going to be the first to have access to them. If you are you have been a target individual, you're going to be able to have access to them immediately. Or if you are, of course, a veteran, okay, a veteran. Because apparently some of these healing modalities also rapid heal what is called a post-traumatic stress disorder. And so if all goes well, Starlink, through Project Odin, is planning on not only unleashing the Medbeds tutorial worldwide in over 209 nations, but of course, exposing all of the shenanigans that has been going on, including, the files that have been dropping recently. In addition to that, they're also going to be revealing how frequencies and vibrations is the key when it comes to future medicine, right? Restoring full hair. So all of the people that have lost their hair, all the men that are bald are going to have a full set of hair again. People that have eye issues, stigmatism of the eye, like myself, I'm always squinting. Vision will be restored to 2020. All right. Everything, guys. Alzheimer's, autism, dementia, arthritis. It's all going to be, et cetera, et cetera. It's all going to be restored. Thank you. So it is projected that international public access explodes with over 700 plus centers operational by the end of the year, with more rolling out, light healing modalities, holographic regenerators, and of course, all of this is going to be marking the ending of a 6,000-year old Cabal empire, which is beautiful. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but today we are scheduled to experience the final blood moon with what they call the lunar eclipse. And a lot of this, if you guys study the prophecies and the esoteric knowledge, which I had an opportunity to do so, ties in with the, of course, dawning of a new era as to why the forces of light have recently recuperated the 10th gate in Iran. So I do want to welcome all 3,500 people that are in the house. Wow, this is the most I've ever had. No, I think at one point I had almost 4,000 people, 3,900. All right, so let's talk about the blood moon and how it's apparently affecting what's happening on the planet at this time. So tonight, the blood moon lunar eclipse is rising, all right? It's happening. As a result of that, humanity is witnessing more than just a celestial event. From an esoteric perspective, this is not just Earth passing through a shadow of the sun. It is the shadow of an age passing over the world. The lunar eclipse has always symbolized revelation. The moon governs the subconscious, collective memory, and emotional tides of humanity. So when it turns red, ancient traditions view it as the purging of karmic cycles. The purging of karmic cycles, which is what? The exposure of the hidden forces operating from behind the veil. This particular blood moon, since we've had prior recent blood moons going back to 2014, 15, and 16, if you guys recall, marks the closing chapter of an era defined by secrecy, manipulation, and of course, control. So for decades, even for centuries, the shadowy networks apparently have attempted to engineer global conflict as a mechanism of control, because war always generates fear, right? It feeds off of each other. Fear lowers collective frequency, and lowered frequency sustains systems, or let's call them parasitic systems of domination, right? Loosh. Think about it. So from a esoteric lens, a third world war would not only simply be geopolitical, it would also be energetic, and it would have repercussions beyond the physical plane. It would also anchor humanity into a timeline of collapse and further fragmentation. But this blood moon tonight, guys, does not support fragmentation, okay? It supports revelation, the great reveal. During eclipses, cosmic alignments create energetic pressure points in the planetary grid. Dormant fault lines, political, economic, spiritual, become exposed. Attempts to ignite large-scale conflict during such windows apparently often backfire, because eclipses magnify truth rather than deception. And this is why the push for chaos, which is the Cabal's last gambit, right? What's happening right now in the Middle East with Iran attacking France, Dubai, right? With this push for chaos intensifies just before the light breaks through. While the old guard attempts escalation, another alignment has apparently quietly strengthened. So from a esoteric standpoint, the Earth Alliance represents awakened human leadership that is working to stabilize the global systems. As mentioned earlier, as a result of what's happening right now, guys, with this massive coronal solar flares, we could have experienced massive earthquakes and tsunamis, which would have been catastrophic. in the last few days. However, the Galactic Alliance is um, it is mitigating that, or has been. It is implementing parameters to countermeasure that, which is great. Okay, the Galactic Alliance, in higher dimensional terms, also represents a council of advanced intelligences whose prime directive is the preservation of the evolutionary pathway, not interference, but prevention of extinction level derailment. The blood moon acts as a cosmic checkpoint, guys. It is as if the earth, no, it is as if the universe itself is asking, will humanity repeat the karmic cycle of destruction or transcend it? Apparently, we chose transcendence, all right? Thanks to all the old souls that are down here that are operating as anchor points. So the answer always lies in frequency. In fact, I believe it was Nikola Tesla who said, if we approach science from these three principles, energy, vibration, and frequency, we would have solutions to all of the world's issues and problems. Okay, so eclipses amplify collective intention, which means that when millions of people awaken to the possibility of peace, cooperation, and sovereignty, which is what's happening right now, as we are well within the Great Awakening, that energetic field becomes stronger than the field of fear. So therefore, the eclipse is not fueling the war. It is exposing the desperation of those trying to ignite it, which is the Cabal's final gamut. Okay. Now, also, red is the color of Mars, the archetype of war, but it is also the color of life force, courage, and rebirth. In alchemical symbolism, the rubedo stage represents the final phase of transformation, when the old identity dissolves and the true form emerges. The blood moon is the rebudo of civilization. It signifies the exposure of hidden agendas, the collapse of outdated power structures, the refusal of humanity to enter another global cataclysm, and of course, the closing of a 200-year cycle of industrial warfare, which coincidentally corresponds to the fall of Tartaria, right? 200 years ago, a little over 200 years ago. Astrologically and energetically, eclipses often coincide with regime changes, revelations, and irreversible shifts. But not all endings are violent. Some endings are quite withdrawals of power. So what appears as chaos is often the thrashing of a system losing control. Esoterically speaking, this blood moon is the final shadow before the dawn, the last attempt of a fading paradigm to assert dominance. But the frequency of the planet has shifted, all right? And we owe that to the super soldiers in the Galactic Alliance as they restored the 10th gate in Iran. Solar activity has increased, and it has been for quite some time. Human consciousness continues to expand. Therefore, information can no longer be contained. All right. This is it, guys. This is the time to rise. This is the age of the new human. This is the age of revelation, the age of accountability, the age of all decentralized platforms, and the beginning of transparency. I noticed I have my little Superman curl. I forgot to comb my hair today. So yeah, when I don't put gel on, my hair naturally just kind of curls. So it's all right. I really don't like putting on gel on my hair as much. I like to just be natural now. All right. In either case, I do want to welcome all 3,500 people that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are going to be ending this live with a meditation, collective meditation. And I do want to give some shout outs. I see Project Skyfalls in the house. I also see Sherry77 Shoon in the house, MJF. Diana 77 Unicorn, Sandy Foster, William Ryan, Sarah-369, um, Remy Salem. Oh, I finally called somebody new. Let's see who else. Do we have any new subscribers in the house? If you are recently subscribed to my channel within the last 2 days, 3 days, raise your hand, give me a high five, and I'm going to give you a shout out right now. Any new subscribers in the house? So I can shout out your name. Come on, who's in the house? New subscriber, give me a. All right, Gabrielle's been here for quite some time. I recognize the name. Who is a new subscriber? All right, Lisa Beck is a new subscriber. Eduardo Sagrera is a new subscriber. And of course, who else is a new subscriber? Raylene and Kencha. Kencha is a new subscriber, as well as Teresa Childs. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are having a fantastic morning, day, or evening, depending on where you're at in the world and when you watch this on the replay. Yeah, guys, these are some exciting times to live. You know, don't watch the news. The news is only gloom and doom. The news is only reporting disinformation, right? So, let's go ahead and take some questions before we do our collective meditation. Thank you, Edward Wusick, for your donation. Appreciate that. I'm looking for questions. I guess I should start with the super chats first. Thank you so much for the super chats. Nathan Taylor, he says, what could we trade with the ETs that they already don't have other than our DNA? No, they don't. Okay, the positive ETs, the allies of humanity don't want our DNA. Okay, those are the negative ETs. It's not that what can we trade, it's what can we teach them. That's what it's about. Okay, when we become a restored galactic human based on us falling into the 3D, which is something that not a lot of ETs had a chance to do, they're going to want to learn from us. They're going to want to learn how we bounce back up after falling into a fallen state. So, yeah, you know, it's going to be a beautiful conversation. And then the next part of your question is, how are we going to pay them and how are we going to get paid by them? No, there is going to be no paying anybody. In fact, as we go into fifth dimensional reality and above, there will be no economy. And then the last part of your question is, how are we going to be paid by them if the money is going to be digital? No, that's only going to be existing in the 4th-D Earth, not in the 5th-D Earth. Thank you so much, Teresa, for your super chat. She says, we are so happy for Medbeds. Woohoo. Yes, I know. Yes, I am excited about that too. You know, I've been petitioning Commander Valiant Thor and the Galactics to just roll them out. All right, next question. Ishmael, if we are located near a sanctuary city, what is our role and process to help? For those that want to know what the interstellar sanctuary cities are going to be, they're going to be interstellar hubs that are going to begin here in the States with 7 locations, beginning with, of course, Sedona, then Boulder, Colorado, and then, of course, Mount Shasta, and so on and so forth. If you guys are unfamiliarized with the 7 interstellar hubs that are going to be implemented, then watch my live from Saturday night. So to answer your question, if you live by one of those, again, 7 interstellar sanctuary hubs, chances are is that you're there for a reason. All right, so you're going to be part of the human galactic agreement, or human galactic, you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, the human galactic association. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you're going to be a part of that. Okay. You are where you're at for a reason, by the way. Thank you so much, Joyful, for your super chat. She says, are all our 12 avatars positive? Yes. And what planets are each residing on? And when a person dies, do all 12 automatically integrate back within you? Um, well, believe it or not, well, the other 11 avatars are existing on this planet. Okay. So when we ascend, the other 11 avatars are going to collapse, or souls rather, are going to collapse into the avatar, which is the fifth dimensional you, the galactic you. Wait, you're asking about the avatars? No, the avatars are fifth dimensional uh humanoids, right? Galactic humans. There are, when we reach the 12th dimension, you're going to be operating in 11 other realities simultaneously, as we are doing so right now. Well, guys, this is one thing that I've never revealed before, and some of you guys are really going to be hopefully red pill when I reveal this, or some of you guys might already know, and that is that because our consciousness is so vast that it requires 12 fractal avatars down here in the 3D to embody what we were in the 5D. And what that means is that there are 11 other yous on the planet right now that are sharing your consciousness. And when we ascend, when we go back into the 5D, those 11 other souls are going to collapse and become the fifth dimensional avatar, which is what you are as a galactic being. So, yes, my friends, each single one of you, if you're a starseed, has 11 other extensions or people that are sharing your consciousness, right? Because the consciousness of our avatar is so vast, our fifth dimensional avatar, that it requires 12 bodies to operate down here in the 3D, okay, which are fractals of the original consciousness in the 50. The 50 consciousness, when we fell from consciousness from the 50 during Atlantean times, we fractarized into 12 consciousness, 12 fractals of the one fractal. And therefore, since then, the old souls, who are now reincarnated in the millions, but back then there was just one or two or three or four at a time, also fractalized into 12 bodies. So every single star seed has 11 other people on the planet that are you in a different body. And yes, they're experiencing their own life. They have their own reality, their own challenges. But when the ascension happens, all of these other avatars are going to collapse into the fifth dimensional. I mean, all these other souls are going to collapse into the fifth dimensional avatar.
My third text.
Oh, okay. Edition. Oh, got it. Okay, I will. Thank you. That's the third one, the final edition. Got it. All right. So another super chat from Nathan Taylor. He says, "What if the 11 other fractals die, or 11 all die? What happens to the 12?" Again, there is no such thing as death. Okay. By virtue of being consciousness and multidimensional beings, we only experience realms or realities through avatars. So, in the event that some of the other 11 U's that are coexisting simultaneously somewhere on the planet die. All they do is reintegrate back to the 12D. And so when you ascend, you're going to be reunited with all 11 versions of yourself, if that makes any sense. I know, it's hard to even fathom that each and every single one of us has 11 other people on the planet who are sharing our consciousness in our own reality, not knowing who we are. Okay. And when we ascend, we just collapse back into a bigger being, if that makes any sense. I know, I was thinking about sharing this, revealing this a year or two ago, but they kept telling me they're not ready. But now I'm sure you guys understand how it all works. All right. When we embody in the lower dimensions, our consciousness fragments into fractals. Okay. And as we ascend, which is the reintegration process, all of those fractals eventually begin to reunite. And that's just how it works, guys. All right, next question. Thank you for this is from Raylay Lightstar. Thank you for this excellent in-depth report. What is going on to keep the deep state from sabotaging or interfering with the operation of the medbeds? Thank you for your answer. You are so welcome. Um, I don't think the deep state, I mean, they could try, but at this point, I think the alliance has them by the cazones, if you know what I mean. So, but who knows? Again, this is the trajectory that was given to me by Commander Valiant Thor. So, if all goes well, guys, sometime this year we are going to be seeing the rolling out of all these healing modalities. But yeah, you could be right, because there are alternative timelines where the cabal tries to sabotage good things from happening. All right, this is another super chat from the Lion Gate 888. What a name. How will people be chosen for medbeds? My son is still dealing with post-strike deficits from 2020. Curious how this works for being contacted for appointments. How will medical professionals move forward late after they're released? Well, of course, how it's going to work after the elderly, target individuals, and veterans have access to them, and when they open it up to the rest of the public, they're going to have already a list of all of the people on the planet that again are suffering from Alzheimer's, C, heart disease, you name it. All right, and they're going to be getting a call. They're going to be getting a call in order to go to a certain hospital where they're going to be using the med beds. Good question, though. Again, the Alliance has access to all our records. Believe it or not, guys, they know who's ill. They know who's not. They know who's good. They know who's not. Like Santa Claus, like Santa Claus. So let's continue here. Well, okay, somebody's asking me another good question regarding the other 11 extensions of us that coexist somewhere on the planet that share your consciousness. So when these other 11 versions of you collapse into the avatar, which is the fifth dimensional you, right? You guys are all going to blend in together. So what I was told years ago, and again, I couldn't reveal this, not even in my book, because they told me if you say this stuff, people are going to think you're wacky. So I was told that these other 11 extensions of you look very similar to what you look like right now. Okay, very similar features. So when you guys all collapse into the fifth dimensional avatar, you guys are just It's almost like they're going to take the best features of all 12 of you and just put them into one body. So yes, you're going to be looking radiant, young, like 30 years in youth. You're going to be looking vibrant, healthy, no wrinkles, no blemishes, no obesity. In the fifth dimensional level of reality, every guy has a six pack, pecs. Every woman is, they look like Wonder Woman. So it's like our bodies are going to be morphing to suit our new upgraded vehicle. Okay. I can't wait to not work out anymore. I can't wait to not work out anymore. There won't be no need to lift weights or exercise in the 50th earth. We're all naturally going to be fit. All right. Next super chat. This is Kenneth Brown. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for your super chat. Will the Medbeds be in Canada soon? My neighbor is wondering. I believe that Canada is one of those 209 countries. Yes. Next question. Thanks for insisting on the Medbeds update and all you do, my friend. Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for this excellent in-depth report. I've already read that. Okay. What else? What else? Hope is Real has a super chat. Thank you, sister. Does one of the 12 fractals carry more of the signal and is aware of the others through dreams? Yeah. They all carry the signal equally. All right. It has to be distributed in balance. And yes, sometimes your consciousness in a dream shifts from one avatar to the next. Absolutely. And I have seen my other version and look pretty much like me now. Same here. I've actually ran into two of my versions already throughout my years. Once when I was 24, and then another time when I was 32 years old. Will the 15-minute cities still be in progress? You must be referring to the smart cities. No, that is not taking place in the positive timeline. The rollout of the smart cities is the opposite of the positive timeline, right? That is supposed to exist in the negative technocratic dystopia. So, as the trifurcation, the convergence takes place, right? There's going to be a splitting of worlds, or a splitting of realities, rather, the harvest. Those that go to the positive sending timeline will not be experiencing smart cities. Those that experience the smart cities are going to be those that went into the technocratic dystopian timeline, or those that are going to be going into the negative timeline. All right, one more question, and then I'm actually going to be doing a meditation with all of you guys here tonight in order to bring full healing to the planet, accelerate the disclosure, the rolling out of medbeds, free energy technology, etc., etc. All right, one more question, and then we'll do the meditation. Your heart smiling 1111 says just subscribe. Thank you so much. Another thing I wanted to mention is that um, I am finding out that some of the people that like to listen to my content don't even know about my YouTube channel. It turns out that there are certain people out there that are taking my lives and they are posting them on Rumble or on other channels. So I want to let you guys know that this is my official channel, The Real Ishmael Perez. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel, okay? I don't know if I have viewers who just watch me but don't subscribe. The benefits of subscribing, which is free, right? I don't charge for subscription, is that you will always receive a notification when I go live. So you're going to be always informed about the next Intel drop. Okay, those are the benefits of subscribing. So again, I just wanted to point out that this is my only channel. I don't have a Rumble channel. I don't have other YouTube channels. This is the only channel where I speak. I have another super chat before we start the meditation. So has the first wave already happened? Not yet. Not yet. This is a question from Sue. Not yet, Sue. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Hope is Real. Hope is Real. Thank you so much for the super chat. Does one of the 12 fractals carry more of the signal? I think I've already read that. No, it's distributed equally among you 12. See, somebody just said, I found you on Rumble. Well, again, that's not the real me. Oh, yeah. If there's 3,265 people watching, please hit that like button. Thank you for the reminder. All right, let's get into the meditation, my friends. I want you guys to all get comfortable and relax. This is a collective meditation in order to stabilize the grid, bring in the quantum financial system, the quantum freedom grid, the living grid, and of course, the activation of humans into the next stage. Okay, so let's all meditate. So I want you guys to be present in the moment, to be in the here and the now. And if there is any pain or frustration, just relax and let our energies combine to say these prayers into the quantum field. Now, as we open the energetic light integration with us and the blood moon lunar eclipse, we do hereby decree all healing process and restoration to our perfect divine original state and harmony be complete now. We are surrounded by a seamless 500 ring titanium shield of protection, and Archangel Michael is in our room now. We open the gates to the fifth dimension and higher dimensional ascension of us and the world now. Open your soul star chakra, which is above your seventh, and connect to the light of the blood moon lunar eclipse right now. Connect our divine highest consciousness with the opening of the highest 22nd chakra to the Milky Way galaxy and the galactic central sun and central suns all over the universe. We command the lunar eclipse to bring in the 5D energies and frequencies to flow through all of our chakras. Open the stargates to the most positive timeline now. Close the gates to the dark portals now. Remove and transmute all the negative entities and send them out through the portal from which they came. Seal the dark's portal with titanium. Close the gates to negative dark portals. Close the gates to Satan and the negative AI, and open the gates to the light in the world. Open our higher heart and heart chakras to link the twin flame unions on earth and balance the divine feminine and masculine in harmony. Open our heart chakras to the highest light from source. Let this lunar light bring in the white light, platinum, gold, and white diamond light into the earth and into our hearts and align it into the 5D new earth grid from the 13th dimension and anchoring it in through us. Clear, cleanse, and heal all of our hearts, minds, and souls from the negative traumatic experiences stored in our DNA and Akashic. Remove and defeat the dark angels from interfering in the relationships from any past karma. Reverse any negative energy, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual pain from the Akashic records. Connect heaven and earth. Close down the negative portal and open the portal to bring in the 5D heaven on earth. Bring happiness and love to the world. Heal Mother Gaia. Bring us unity, unconditional love, clear energy, clear the negative energies, and restore the balance. Bring joy to the world and love. Bring peace, freedom, and prosperity. The debts needs to be wiped. Cancel all the debts for humanity, for every human and child. All the car, house, and credit card and electricity bills be canceled. Cancel payments to all Rothschild banks and corrupt banking centers. Turn on the emergency broadcast system, and all the presidential emergency messages be sent out with truth about disclosure and military tribunals. Start the cash payment of the RV funds, and for Nisera and Gesera, remove all nasty and negative curses, hexes, jinx, black magic, negative gematria, and dark AI magic, and take them out of our timeline. Connect us to our higher self. Connect us to our highest cosmic consciousness. And may our truest heart, our highest, truest heart outside of this universe be installed. Put our consciousness in the highest point of the extraterrestrial existence. Activate our loving relationship with all that is. Connect us to our highest, truest self aboard the mothership. Activate our dormant abilities and download all our new abilities, and remember the old ones. Open up our files within our DNA codes to knowing our past lives and our position in the Galactic Alliance. Open and perfect all DNA corridors, codons, and restore all strands. Bring our higher self into the light body and to our physical incarnation. Connect our light body to our physical body. Assign us to our purpose as being the protectors of the planet, and know that all there is that all we need to know about our assignment and purpose with the blueprints of who we are. Show us our status in the ranks of the light workers on this planet. Bring in the friendly beings and have them do disclosure. Open the portals to becoming our highest extraterrestrial self, our highest angelic selves. We want to have conscious recall of our spiritual training, remembering where we go at night, our involvement with the spiritual war, and let there be conscious recall of all the data of what we've accomplished in many lifetimes in our role. For the world's ascension, we ask to surround us with the light from the galactic central sun, envisioning all of us surrounding in a white and golden light, surrounded us in a cobalt blue light, and protect our aura now. Surround our energies with the gold pyramid and the white dome so that our thoughts cannot be taken advantage of by the dark forces. Disconnect us from the negative forces and surround this meditation and our consciousness with protection without them feeding on our energy. Surround this meditation with the titanium tube of light and gold, violet, silver, ruby, and emerald flames going in and out of it. Surround this meditation and everybody involved in it with the gold flame pyramid. Surround this meditation and everyone in it with the pink plasma egg. All of our thoughts and all of our combined energies are for the highest, best good of all mankind. Bring in all of our minds into one mind. We surround this meditation with love as we call upon all the ascended masters, all of the archangels, all of the seraphim, cherubim, and all of the unseen helpers, and Jesus, Buddha, Mary Magdalene, Krishna, and all of the extraterrestrials, the Andromedans, Arcturians, Pleiadians, Syrians, Venusians, Vegans, Lyrans, the universe, the blue avians, the love beings, and the purple beings. We ask now, Mother Earth and all of its people to receive the highest vibrational energies from the great central sun and from Source. Let's open up all our heart chakras, opening up our highest heart chakra, opening up our root chakra to these higher light vibrations coming in from the galactic central sun and bringing into us so that we could be in the fifth dimensional earth. We ground this 5D energy now into the core of the earth. And now we ask that the higher vibrational energies come in through and be sent out through all the portals out into the universe, and let these waves of white photonic light frequencies be sent out to all the universe and into the atmosphere and launch it into the stratosphere. We ask that all the higher energies that are coming in now be sent out all through our bodies down into the core of Mother Earth. Turn us into our celestial selves. We ask for all wars to be ended and removed, not just here on the earth, but all throughout the universe. Take us off the timeline of wars. Take us off the timeline of government control and manipulation. Take us out of the timeline of mainstream media and all of their programming. Arrest the cabal and all of the members involved in child sex trafficking. Completely heal the earth from all of these negative entities and remove them now and send them off for karma to come to them lifetime after lifetime. With the power of the violet flame of Saint Germain, we ask that all the negative energies that were once on this planet be removed and transmuted, and all past timelines be healed and repaired. Let there be the highest angels protecting us from all the negative AI. Connect us to our highest cosmic consciousness. Connect us to our highest cosmic consciousness as part of this universe. Open up all our chakras in our minds to the highest light and allow the light in and allow it to absorb into the galaxy and Mother Earth and allow it to be dispersed to all of the surface dwellers. Heal Mother Earth and balance all of the distortions, disharmonies, and dark frequencies. We ask that Mother Earth be able to maintain her weather in perfect harmony. Release the prosperity packages, Gesera, Nasera, and the trust funds to the light workers to go into their next projects and missions. We ask that 700 years in advance of alien technology be given to the public now. We ask for contact and benevolent beings to make their appearance now. Extraterrestrials are now allowed to land. We give them permission as long as they are aligned with Source and meet us. We ask to completely heal all wounds and all traumas from the lower vibrations from the earth and the collective's timeline to bring back our souls and our spiritual master consciousness to be brought into our higher mind, and let all lower frequencies be transmuted by Mother and Father God to be sent off into the sacred fire in heaven to be burnt off and transmuted into love and light. We are asking for Mother and Father God and the higher intelligences to send out this light into every being, human, plants, and animals on this planet. We now connect and send infinite love hearts to everyone on this planet. We now envelop the planet in a gold, green, pink, white, and purple flame. And we ask that all of these energies bring back our planet and our people back into being balanced, aligned, and restored, all of the people on earth. Bring in the masculine and feminine energies back into harmony. Connect to the divine mind. Connect our silver cord down into the earth and up into the divine. Send out all of the energies and these higher light codes into all of the people listening to this video now and every soul that is connected to the divine. We welcome back the Sophia ley lines and the codes and the Mother Goddess. Connect us to the highest cosmic consciousness. Connect us to the highest trust, the highest truest self as infinite love, and keep being more infinite love. Connect us to the highest self from outside of this world. Connect us to the highest cosmic consciousness in our new 5D world, and bring in and pull in all our ascended masters being into our mental and light body here and now. I ask that Source, Sananda, Jesus, Archangel Michael, and all of the celestial and benevolent beings watch over our prayer and meditation now. And we send us these energies, and not let them stop, and in order so that they could activate us into the fifth dimension, where we will shine and give our dormant abilities that once had, and bring us into the divine cosmic beings that we were meant to become. And I ask this all to be done. Thank you, love and light, and so it is. Thank you, everyone, for sending your energies in this experience. I appreciate all of you, each and every single one of you at this time. This was a pleasurable experience, and I appreciate the joy and the love that this moment is giving, not only to us here on the live, but to all the people on planet Earth. Let's allow these frequencies to absorb, to be anchored to the core of the earth, in order to lift the earth electromagnetic field and to have it create a pulse to affect the Schumann resonance, to bring us into our highest expanded version of ourselves in the new earth. May the God force be with you all, and please share this with as many people as possible. The more people attune to this meditation, the more or the better the effect. May the God force be with you. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Love and light.